The Last of Us takes place in a post-apocalyptic America 20 years after a very specific outbreak happened, wiping out most of humanity. When we made the game, it was like, okay, how can we use story and cinematography and performances to make you feel that unconditional love for these characters? We did it in the video game. Now the challenge is, how do you do it in this other medium?
Adapting from one medium to another is always tricky. You have to make quite a few changes. The changes have to be done carefully and smartly.
Often you have people that don't respect the source material, and it was so refreshing to sit down with Craig and then talk about how do we maintain what made it special to a whole new audience.
I learned very quickly the massive fan base that I was stepping into. There's so much from my end that is based on the original source material and Troy Baker's performance.
I was in conflict with it at first, and I remember asking Neil, why do we need to go in and do this again? And he gave me such a simple answer, and he said, at the end of the day, there are people out there that will never pick up a controller, and they will never experience this story. And I think our story is special enough to bring it to them.
Everybody I've cared for has either died or left me.
The thing that The Last of Us had is a truly great story centered around a great relationship and great characters.
What they've done with these scripts was explore and nourish things that I think are very much a part of the experience of the game. One of those things is the internal life of these characters, and to really get into the flesh of what's happening inside of them.
One of my favorite things about the show is how it's so dark, but also there's so much humor.
It's your first time in a car?
It's like a spaceship. There's so many light moments and like beautiful moments, and I think the lightness and the humor amplifies the darkness and the emotion of it even more.
When I met Bella for the first time, I was so excited. Seeing her in person on set and doing scenes, Bella has the essence of Ellie already in her.
I think that anyone who's a fan of the game is going to really be blown away by the love and care put into matching the game. And anyone who doesn't know the game itself will fall right into the world.
I like to call it a love letter to the fans, but then the way that they expand it and bring new inspiration is stunning.
It's really unexpected, but like in this intense world, there's this beautiful connection that these characters have.
If you're lucky enough to come into writing like this writing, it's so few and far between. It's such a rare occasion that you get to play scenes like this.
Even if I wasn't associated with it, if it wasn't based on the game I worked on, I would love this show. I love these kind of stories that are dark and deal with humanities and these philosophical questions, but ultimately it tells like a really moving story about a small group of characters.
The Last of Us takes you on a journey that is going to be beautiful, it is going to be funny, it is going to be terrifying, and ultimately it's enlightening.
What I'm about to tell you cannot be repeated to anyone, because if you do, you will die.